Welcome back to the Mayorverse, everybody. Mayor Reynolds, aka Midnight Mayor, here coming at you with another dead drop video. Welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about UGC mode. I did a video about UGC mode a little while back, but thanks to an AMA with 402 himself, we learned a little bit more, some really interesting thoughts that are going to spur a lot of things. But in this video, I'm also going to compile some interesting ideas for all of us to really get our creative juices flowing. Different modes or different forms of gameplay that we may be able to create, or even beyond gameplay in UGC mode to kind of get a list started. So when UGC mode drops, which is basically Dead Drop's creative or Forge mode, if you don't know, everybody's got all this inspiration in different modes and stuff that they can make, because the first step in UGC mode, we all know, is going to be different gameplay modes. That's the first step, and then likely the second step will be creating our own maps, our own environments. And 402 is on record saying that he wants UGC mode to be something that lets players in the community do everything that they can do, development-wise. Everything. That is their goal. That is their plan. But one of the big things that 402, Robert Bowling, said during the interview, which was very, very interesting during the AMA, is that they're already thinking about rev share and different monetization of UGC mode. And if this isn't exciting to you as a creator or somebody who enjoys creating things, whether you've dabbled in Fortnite creative mode or Halo's Forge or Splitgate's map editor, whatever, this is huge, because what he's essentially saying is, you know, in Fortnite, there's like the supporter creator system with creator codes. So when different creations, fan-made creations, get utilized and such, there can be actual rev share with the creators of those experiences. And that is a very wise move. It's a very community-friendly move, because it's going to incentivize creators. If you've got 3 games that you're making content for, or considering making content for, you're probably at the end of the day going to create content for the game that you have skin in the game for, that you stand to make the most from, right? So if Dead Drop's UGC mode is a form of monetization for creators to share their stuff, and then, you know, that's the whole point of fan creations and mods and stuff, right? It's like viral marketing for the game. Like, fans make this stuff, it goes viral, and everybody wins, right? The game wins, the creator of the mode or the map or whatever gets a ton of attention and potential rev share. This is all really, really, really good stuff that has me thinking that UGC mode in Dead Drop is going to be a lot bigger than we even expected at first. So from here on out, I'm going to run through a bunch of ideas, not only modes. We can all theorize what maps we all want to make, right? Once environmental editing is available, this Halo map, this Call of Duty map, and that'll be a ton of fun within itself. But the first step, we all know, the first thing that we're going to be able to test as variants is the mode editor, the gameplay editor. So I'm going to run you through a list of cool ideas that I've had and that we've talked about in stream and in Discord, different ideas that other people have had. Some of these were thought up by other people in our chat and in our Discord. Come join both on Twitch and in Discord, by the way, to keep up the Dead Drop conversation. I don't have names with all of them, but a lot of these were thought of by our community. So with no further ado, let's talk about it. One of my favorite ideas I've come up with personally is like a 1v1 or a 2v2 mode, like Gunfight from Call of Duty or Quake Duels. You know, the whole 1v1 me, bro. Classic Quake days. Shout out to all of you who are old enough to remember the Quake days. Quake Champions is underrated, by the way. But anyway, I think sectioning off parts of the map. Right now we only have Sector 3, but in the future we're going to have 7 sectors that I'm sure are going to be full of playable spaces that are good for gunfights and like 1v1s. So like right now in Sector 3, my idea is just the lift, just that top part of Shipping Hub, right? All the end game matches come down to that, just that space. Unless you've extracted or died, obviously. So having 1v1s or 2v2s up there, that would give you end game practice. So it'd be beneficial to players, but it would also just be really fun. It's a great space to fight in. You know, having those sniper duels up there, or rushing that person who's on the ramp with a shotgun or whatever. It'd be super competitive, because spaces like that are designed well for duel type gameplay. But B, it would give you practice for when you're in those situations in the game and actually trying to fight to extract and survive. So I love the idea for this, something like Gunfight or duels with smaller sections of the map cut off, so you couldn't go anywhere else. Just you spawn in up top and it's just 1v1 or whatever. I would love to have that ability. mentioned this in my last UGC video from like a month or two ago. You can check that out on the channel, by the way. It's just straight up infection. I think that Sector 3 cold storage, the vertical element of DEADROP, is perfect for like an infection mode, like a zombie style mode, where, you know, everybody spawns. There's only a few zombies to start, which will probably at the beginning only have like shotguns or whatever. And then all the other players will be, their goal is to survive long enough to either win the game or extract on the lift. Maybe you've got a timer that counts down and you have to, you know, stay alive. And once you die, once you get killed by a zombie, you come back as a zombie and you join the zombies. A lot of you have played this type of gameplay loop. This video is from Halo 5's Infection. We think that Infection's coming to Halo Infinite soon. Should have been there a long time ago. I digress. But anyway, I think in DEADROP this could be perfect, because you'd have a lot of people, a lot of the humans or the survivors probably hanging out up top, holding that high ground with all the zombies, zombies infected, whatever you want to call them, sins, I guess, in our case, right? Sprinting, and you just see these eventually these armies of sins running to the top, rushing the team at the top who's holding that high ground. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I can't wait to try this, because I know a lot of people have had this idea. They love this idea, and I think it'll be one of the first things that gets made in DEADROP. Like, could you imagine like a 36-player infection type gameplay for DEADROP? Would be a lot of fun. 402 himself has already mentioned like CTF gameplay. I'm sure somebody will create some type of CTF mode in UGC very quickly. Then of course I'm sure there'll be like team deathmatch, stuff like that people figure out how to run squads of however many and just rack up kills, some kill race type modes. Then there's this one, King of the Hill. You know, how about King of the Hill again though? Make it a more like a territory style mode where you have to hold the whole top of Sector 3. That's the point. Whoever's up there is holding the high ground. That's the whole point. And that's the hill. It's really up here, you know, by crane up the top of shipping hub, the main lift. That's the idea. And everybody else has got to push up like Infection I was just talking about, that whole rush the top gameplay thing. I think that could be a lot of fun. Then our chat came up with the idea of something that they called hunt mode. I compared it to VIP, but it's not quite VIP. But they talked about something more like Juggernaut from old Halo games, where like one person on a team, or even if it's a solo mode, somebody starts as it and then you have to kill that person to become the Juggernaut. You've got insane levels of health, and you can just run around killing tons of people. It's gonna take like a whole team to take you down, something like that. That would be fun. But then there's another spin on it where there's one item on the map, one special item. Like let's say it's a bottle of Black Steel Bourbon, right? That's on the map, and everybody who spawns in, all 36 players can see it. We know where it is. The goal is to get that item and to extract with it. That's the goal of this mode. Let's call it, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. MacGuffin? I don't know. But so that's the game. Do you go in and go super aggro for it and try to get it? Do you try to wait for a lot of other people to fight for it and move it towards an extraction? It would be an interesting dynamic, right? Especially the fact that everybody can see it, where this item is all the time. It would be a cool little twist, something to try, right? And of course there's other classic FPS staples like gun game. You know, you start with the best weapon, you get a kill, you move to the next one, you move to the next one, you move to the next one, and then you'd eventually get down to whatever the weakest gun in the game is. You know, right now, and the meta's gonna change. The last gun would probably be like the semi-auto pistol, or the heavy pistol. The heavy pistol's really pretty tough. I've gone to length about how it needs to be buffed and changed. I think it will, but you get the idea for gun game. Then there's basic other things like domination. You know, teams trying to control certain zones of the map. Again, you'd probably have to section off the map for something like that to work, unless you did a whole bunch of teams. You know, all 36 players available on the map. And you can go wild with it, have it be really large scale domination or something like that. You could do trick shots. You could definitely do like turn off fall damage, just like a straight up trick shot mode where there's no fall damage. So you can throw yourself off the tower and try to trick shot people. You won't take any damage. So we all know that vehicles are going to be in DEADROP. They've been teased a lot. We know about the garage. We know we're going to be able to customize and upgrade some sweet looking muscle cars, and who knows what other vehicles lay ahead. for Dead Drop. We don't even know what the real gameplay loop for our vehicles is going to be, but we know that 402 seemed really excited for them. And what I think they're going to do with them personally is it's going to be something like PUBG, where you'll be able to hop into vehicles, drive them around, or Warzone for that example, where they won't have weapons attached to them or anything like that, but you'll be able to like spawn vehicles in the game, a limited number of them in select sectors, and you know, just drive them around. If you're playing in squads or whatever, maybe you can shoot out the windows, that kind of thing. But that gives me an idea. What if we had in UGC mode, what if we created essentially a vehicle mode, almost like Twisted Metal or car combat, right? Like PlayStation, God knows, won't make a new Twisted Metal game. I actually heard there's a new one coming, which would make sense because they're making a Twisted Metal TV show with Anthony Mackie as the star, the Falcon, Captain Falcon, Captain America, Falcon Captain, whatever he is these days. But what if we actually did like if somebody made a car combat mode in Dead Drop's UGC? This would be way down the road. We're talking big future, but that could be really fun, right? And I think stuff like this exists in Fortnite. You could also do races. Imagine getting together with a group of friends or Dead Drop players, Dead Drop community players, and doing races around a sector or on custom tracks. God knows, people could make Mario Kart tracks in UGC mode, right? If it goes that far, like in Halo's Forge, people remake like tracks from Mario Kart and stuff. Like, it's crazy. You could, if this thing goes as far as we think it's gonna go in the long run, people will be able to make crazy stuff like this. This idea was inspired by Metamora, a Dead Drop variant. He's a member of our community. He makes music, if you guys haven't heard, so he's a Dead Drop fan and he makes his own music. He brought up, what if you could get cassettes in this game? And of course, you could start with collectible cassettes released by the developers, like in-game items, obviously, that you could put in your car and listen to while you're driving it around. That would be cool in and of itself. But what if in UGC, you could add your own audio and your own music or whatever to the map that you've built or to the space that you've built? And that would be really cool for musicians. And again, that's a way for them to get their music out there. People like Meta who want to, you know, share their music, and they create a map, they create, you know, an environment, and they want to up the atmosphere of it, and they add, you know, synthwave music to it or horror sounding music to it. Like, people can make horror experiences. Will we be able to add our own custom audio or music? And that's another really cool idea, especially when you get into the whole rev share concept. There's a lot of potential here, guys, and a lot of really exciting stuff that we can conceive of. Because again, some of these ideas belong to the community more than me, but they've given me permission to share them and put them into this video. So thanks a lot for that, guys. Spaceman, you're one of them. Olap, you're one of them. Metamora, you're one of them. I think Shat's contributed some ideas. Tons of people. So if you're not in our Twitch, if you're not in our Discord, come join, guys. We're always talking about stuff like this. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I know this is our second video about UGC, but the more and more and more I think about it, and the more Midnight Society talks about it, the more I think UGC mode is going to be a huge tenet of Dead Drop that's going to push the game forward more than any of us have been expecting. Between all the things we may eventually be able to do, all the content we'll be able to create and share, and how that will generate, you know, views and impressions for Dead Drop, but then with the potential for stuff like creator codes down the road. And that's not a promise, it's just something that they've talked about. They're already thinking about monetizing UGC mode somehow, which is it's, again, great for creators. I think it's gonna be huge, and I think it'll be step by step. You know, the first step is like 402 said, developing various modes, and then probably environments will come later, and then who knows after that, right? It's just gonna continue to evolve. It's just very exciting. This whole Dead Drop journey, to me, it's just full of potential, because they're listening to us. They want to hear what we want, and then they're reacting to what the community says. Like, this is a truly different development process, an open development process. It's exciting, and I just can't wait to see where all of this goes. By the way, Midnight Society is hiring for a UGC related position right now, so if you're active in game development, looking for a job, make sure you check the career section on MidnightSociety.com. With that said, guys, Mayor Reynolds, Midnight Mayor out. Make sure you check out all the other videos on the channel. Check out our sponsors down in the links. Consider supporting us. And see you in the next video. Those of you who didn't know, I am sponsored by Humble Bundle. If you don't know what Humble Bundle it is an online game store where you can buy games and support charity at the same time. You can find it at humblebundle.com. And if you use my link, I am partnered with them. You'll also support my channel and my content at the same time. And they put new bundles on there. Right now, you can buy the entirety of Attack on Titan for dirt cheap, the manga. But one of my favorite bundles is live right now. That is the Best of Boomer Shooters bundle. There's a lot of retro FPSs in here, but there's new bundles all the time, and you can support me and charity and get great games in bundles, dirt cheap, all the time. So check out Humble Bundle, and you won't be disappointed.